Hey guys, it's Lawrence from Oasis Physio, and today we're going to talk about frozen shoulder. So adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder is probably one of the worst shoulder injuries you can get. At this point in time, it's idiopathic, so we don't know what causes it, but with some of the latest research, we're starting to feel like it might be hormonal based. And this is because the general demographic that get frozen shoulder are usually women right after menopause or during a hormonal shift. You can also get frozen shoulder if you immobilize your shoulder for a long period of time. So people who are in casts, or if you've gotten injured and you're in a sling for a long period of time, this can cause or trigger this to come on. So what happens is, this is your shoulder. You start to get kind of scar tissue building up along the shoulder joint just here, okay? So this pretty much fuses your humerus, your arm bone, with your shoulder blade, and this makes it very hard for you to lift your arm up and down. So when someone presents into the practice with a frozen shoulder, or they suspect there's a frozen shoulder, we look for 3 main movements just to see how the body responds to it. So the first one would be flexion, so bringing the arm up in front of you. Usually with flexion, we'll find they get limited about 90 degrees, which is about here, okay? They can find it being stopped by the actual shoulder joint, or there's pain limiting them right there. The second movement would be abduction, so bringing it out to the side through here. And usually with this movement, we find that they stop just about 45 degrees, about 50 degrees right here. And the last one we'd look for would be external rotation, which is this movement right here. With this movement, they're usually stuck at neutral or before neutral. So this position or a little bit before. So if someone's coming in with a frozen shoulder, we would definitely need to stretch the joint space as much as we can. So we would use the Maitland approach to that, which is an AP mobilization. AP stands for anterior posterior. So we're pushing from the front to the back through the shoulder joint, and this will help to loosen up that shoulder, okay? So this is an example of what I would do. So if I borrow that for you, I would just support the actual shoulder, maybe add a bit of distraction, okay? And I'm just gonna push down just like that. Do you feel that stretch? Pretty comfortable? So for someone with a very frozen shoulder, this would be extremely painful, and I've had people cry on me before. So don't go that hard, okay? Beautiful. So that's an accessory movement, so that's something that we or you can't produce by yourself. Passive physiological movements are movements you can produce. So in terms of a frozen shoulder, you want to achieve good flexion, so bringing the shoulder up like this, comfortable. Abduction, which is bringing it out to the side like this, comfortable. And you want to work on internal and external rotation. So external rotation is this way, and internal rotation is this way, okay? We can change the angle depending on their level of discomfort. External rotation, internal rotation. When we get past 90 degrees, it's good to just protect the shoulder, just so we don't accidentally dislocate you. Okay, external and internal rotation. Comfortable? Beautiful. And again, with a frozen shoulder, it's usually adhesions between the humerus and the shoulder blade. So we would also benefit from some shoulder blade stretching. Okay. I would usually use a towel because the grips can be very uncomfortable, but just to demonstrate, I'm going to do it without. So what I like to do is find the actual shoulder blade and just add a bit of depression, okay, as I work on some abduction. You feel that stretch through there? Yeah, comfortable? Cool. So that's one option. Another one is to actually lift the shoulder blade off. So the shoulder blade is actually very strong. It's one of the floating bones. It's only connected by muscle. You can actually, if you can fit your fingers in there, you can carry the whole human body just from the shoulder blade. I'm not going to do that, but what we'll do is we'll bring your shoulder blade back. I'm going to dig my fingers under your shoulder blade here and just work on opening up that joint. You feel that? Comfortable? Yeah. Perfect. So that's another option to stretch the shoulder out. So if you feel like you have a frozen shoulder and you want to work on your range of motion, This is one of the go-to exercises that I prescribe to patients with frozen shoulder and after any kind of surgery. So it's called the Jean-Pierre Lyotard technique, and what that involves, it's an active assisted range of motion exercise. So all you're going to need to do is, starting off lying on a table, you're just going to interlock your fingers, and using your good arm, you're going to try to bring your other arm up to your forehead. So it's an active assist because your good hand is helping to control your not so good arm as you go up and you feel a good stretch. So you just go as far as you feel comfortable until you feel a very uncomfortable stretch. Hold it for a couple of seconds and then bring it back to your chest. And the goal is to get to the point where you can go above your head. Once you get above your head, you can go over your head as far as possible. It's a very safe exercise, and I like giving it to a lot of my patients because it keeps your shoulder in a very neutral range of motion, and it works on every single type of movement. Given it flexion, abduction, external rotation, it's going to work on all of it. I usually prescribe 3 sets of 10 just to get you started, but again, listen to your body. You can easily overdo this one, so it should be just uncomfortable, not painful.